Hello, Fightful Faithful. It's the day after Monday.
Alex, do you know what day that is?
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, Alex, as I'm fiddling with my webcam. Hashtag road life. It's the NXT Sour Graps post show, you guys. Get in your super chats. Do not get in your humper chats because I don't know if I have access from my laptop. But we are taking your money in any way that we can, including FightfulSelect.com, where there was an update about the former Fuego del Sol, KJ Orso, and him getting a WWE tryout. Plenty more on FightfulSelect.com. Had a huge AEW scoop thread for the old pay-per-view this week. But I'll tell you the most exciting thing to happen in wrestling this week. I got to see my bestie.
Ooh.
Allie Albright, who was scheduled to have a match, but unfortunately her opponent wasn't able to make it, had to cancel. But I went finally to see her wrestle. I had met Allie when she was in like a really challenging stretch of her training. And I was like, she's going to make it through this and I'm going to see her wrestle someday. And that's almost what happened. I got to see her promo and it was incredible. It was so awesome to see how far she's come and awesome to see like how damn good she is at it. She was such a natural. She has such an organic connection with the crowd. And she was just great. I love you so much, Allie. I was so happy and just so damn proud to see her shining so bright as Allie Albright does. I don't know who this Allie Cease is, but I know Allie Albright is my bestie. And it was so important to me to get to see it, and I'm so glad I finally did. I also, most importantly, secondarily to that, I beat Sean at Big Hurt RBI Pinball, and we played no other game. So if he tells you that he kicked my ass at NFL Blitz, that is fake news. He definitely didn't have more sacks than I had offensive yards, but that didn't happen. So
it didn't happen.
So go tweet at him that it's fake news. And I'm really good at video games, and I definitely wasn't like, what do the buttons do? I didn't say that at any point when I visited Sean. So that is not that's not on Fightful Select because that would be untrue. So but it was genuinely great to see Sean. We went to Dream Wrestling where we saw Alex's favorite, the Outrunners, and a really strong card there. And we had a whole bunch of fun. But that was really cool. That was a benefit show for Rebel too, which was great. And Sean brought his camera. He's figured out some stuff on the photography side as I'm trying to figure out stuff on my frame here. But some very, very cool stuff he was doing with trying to mimic the flashbulb era, which he is a fan of with the Outrunners because it's so perfectly their time period. But winding down my trip, very glad I went, and glad that we caught tonight's NXT and that I can stop running from the grind.
Yeah, it's good. Again, everybody, just so you're not confused, that is the former Fuego del Sol. If he is signed by WWE, his new name will be Flame North Dakota. The big thing that happened is that Mike Santana is now in WWE, and his name nonsensically is Cruz Montana. It's probably named after his dead great aunt, and that's wonderful and everything. But Mike Santana has name recognition with your crowd because he was on your television a couple of months ago as Mike Santana getting the pinfall in a 6-man tag. Everyone who watches your show already knows him as Mike Santana. This is insane. It's utterly insane to showcase a guy on your show multiple times as Mike Santana and then sign him and then pretend like he's always been named Cruz Montana. Like that's not the most ridiculous thing ever. Did I outrant SP3 from last night? Because I was trying.
I'm glad that I'm glad that you were like, let's start the show right by trying to outrant SP3. SP3 with a not only a great job pinch hitting as a co-host to you yesterday, but a phenomenal rant on the Danhausen Joe Hendrix segment. I strongly encourage fans of rants to go back and listen. But that was delightful. It was delicious, and further punctuated by the fact that today he even referenced TNA where he was named Mike Santana.
Yeah.
I don't know what Jordan and Ethan Page did to secure their names and their deals, but like shortly after them, everybody just got name upheaval again. And when you have a partnership with another promotion or two, I find it incredibly silly that like you wouldn't be able to keep the name consistency there, especially Mike Santana, who before TNA has been Mike Santana for so long. Santana and Ortiz, like all these things that referenced under the name of Mike Santana. So I also find it very frustrating. I don't know if sync deals are just a royal pain in the ass and they don't want to do them, but I like you said, these always end up being tributes, which his name was, but it's not one of like it's not a thing that insults the crowd's intelligence in the way that bad creative does, but it's a thing that kind of, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this, because it's not insulting in that they're assuming that we're dumb, but it's weird that you're asking us to start a fresh slate with this guy or something. Like I think it's a very, very odd phenomenon. And it's also very frustrating that they don't have this ironed out beforehand. Like the fact that we're getting these debuts of, my God, it's one of the hottest free agents on the market. It's a multi-time IWGP champion. Like that stuff is brutal. That stuff really is brutal. Should we do like identity puns of any sort, like detective-y?
People were saying just throwing in alternate names. Rejected Mike Santana names, I think, is one half of the
let's do
topic,
it. Okay.
Whatever that is. And I was thinking other one could be American geography puns, if there are people who know anything about those kind of things, just because Montana is such a very specific thing. He's a big fan of the Big Sky State and also Top Gun. Like, why is Cruz, Montana? It's I'm again. I've heard it's a tribute to his father.
It was a tribute name, but he's been Mike Santana on this program several times and keeps referencing things of when he was Mike Santana, like other promotions and periods of his life when he was that we saw on this very television show. So it's extremely silly.
It is. It's extremely silly, and he wasn't the guy who talked at the beginning of the show, though. There was a surprise.
There was. Grayson
Waller dropped out of the clear blue sky and landed in the middle of the ring in NXT. He, as far as I know, has not spent one single solitary second on television since the New Day left. And
correct, yeah.
That was months ago. And he cut what appeared to be like a really honest and self-aware promo.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he talked about how, that this is true. His debut, he broke his leg. 6 weeks later, he main evented Madison Square Garden against Edge. In his debut match on the main roster, he took down the tag titles out of a ladder match, WrestleMania 40. And then he had some not so nice things to say about Austin Theory, which immediately endeared me to Grayson Waller. And
you're like babyface right away.
Immediately babyface turn. But he then he started, talking about hey, Cruz Montana's here. Yes, this is the guy. Oh, so you were a big wig in TNA. Hate to tell you, bro, it's not 2005 anymore. And I was like, oh, listen, you can tell the truth, but like coming in hot. That's the thing is like, are you guys still doing stuff with them or not? Because you had a guy getting babyface reactions talking about how much TNA sucks now. And listen, it's true, but you're not supposed to say it on your air. I'm pretty sure not supposed to say it on your air. If you're actually still doing a partnership with TNA. But he also says, Tony D, the only reason you're the world champ is because everybody else left. I mean, I feel like that's sadly true. But that's not Tony D's fault. That's a lot of what he was saying could be the booking's fault. You know what I mean? Like the
100%. It was Pipebomb 4.0. Yeah.
The men's division stinks. I like that he said all these former athletes show up and they just want to put WWE superstar in their Instagram bio and then hit on all the medium looking girls in downtown Orlando. And they spend their 6 months here and then they leave. Or you got the indie stars who can do amazing stuff in the ring, but their charisma vacuums on the mic. His point being, I actually check both boxes, and the promo he cut was good, and he's always been a very easy talker. My thing is, I think they had him lean into, aren't I a really big heel stuff way too often. Like just having him talk is enough. Like, and he'll be a snarky ass, and then we go, that guy's a snarky ass, and then you decide whether or not you like the things that he says or don't, as opposed to, I'm gonna get cheap heat on the local sports team, which is just, lowbrow, like way beneath what his skills are, obviously. And I did like the thing where they started chanting for him. It's like, no. I don't need your help. I'm cooking. Let me cook. And everyone's like, are we all in agreement? We'll let you cook, sir. And it was great because they were all going to be on board with him. And then they took his advice and just let him finish. I did think it was funny how like Sean, this PA guy comes up and says, hey, you should stop because HBK doesn't like it. Oh, does he not like it? He's going to have to load up the boot and come stop me then himself. Or send out one of your guys. And the fact is that nobody did. And he was talking for 8 straight minutes. And then finally somebody had the brilliant idea to just cut his mic. Where like you would do that earlier if you had a bigger problem. It's actually the biggest problem with the pipe bomb is the fact that he's saying all of this stuff for such a long time, and then they finally cut his mic. Like that's a thing that would have happened after 2 minutes if it was really a pipe bomb, maybe even faster. So this was very silly that we're like, wow, we need you to stop. Just stop talking. So we are very angry at you for talking. And then finally somebody goes, hey, you should just cut his mic. And then HBK goes, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then does. I thought this was effective. I think honestly, like NXT is the place for Grayson Waller. So if he's
right
back,
now, at least, yeah,
back for an extended run, cool. There are no spots for him on the main roster,
which is sad.
He's been like he was never going to usurp the Miz, and he's been leapfrogged by Ethan Page. Like there's no place for, he doesn't have a role to fill in. You know what I mean? Like I think honestly, him in theory was a mismatch, but he would be really good in a tag team where he was the talker. Like
yes,
here's the deal with Grayson Waller. I think you need to find the right guy for him to be there, Enzo Amore. You find a guy that is the heavy or the dude who doesn't cut promos, and you pair him with the motor mouth guy who likes getting them into trouble, and the big guy likes getting them out of trouble with a big boot. Like, honestly, I feel like that is a really, really good act. They don't do acts like that anymore because they don't care about tag team wrestling. But there was a time where when they cared about tag team wrestling, you would pair a guy like Grayson Waller with a big
Heavy.
with a big heavy, and you would just put the tag titles on him for 8 months and and see what happened. Like, you could actually, he would cut promos on everybody, run everybody down, and if he said the wrong thing and got somebody hot, then he'd have his big guy behind him who would do a choke slam. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I feel like there's a really good role for him in a company that still cares about that kind of thing. And this company, unfortunately, isn't that company.
No, because the Damian Priests of the world are with our truth. Like, it's so there's I liked the content of this for several reasons. One, a lot of it was true. I loved the women's division stuff, obviously. Like 10% of these people are ready, and they're all women. I thought was really good. I also liked that whenever you get a heel like this and they acknowledge their own failures, it's so disarming, because it's like they say that about like Eminem and rap battles of just like, he just owned all the shit of him being a white trailer trash kid or whatever. Like, when you stand on that, it makes it impossible for anybody else to kind of take you down. And I feel like heels in a promo, especially an unopposed promo, nobody was coming out to set anything up with him. Owning that, I thought, was really good, especially if you're reestablishing a run here. I don't know who in the back is in Austin Theory. Like, that tag team worked for a bit, and then they let it go like a year too long, and it was so obvious to me that Grayson Waller was supposed to be the one to break out of that, and then they just never paid it off. I know there was an injury there, but I always felt like Grayson Waller was I felt like the reason that team worked was Austin Theory was rising to Grayson Waller's ability and not vice versa. You said this was very good and self-aware. If he was really self-aware, he would unblock you, because he did wear flesh-colored pants, Alex, and you simply pointed that out. So this is the real test. If he's that self-aware, will he unblock you for calling out correctly that he was wearing flesh-colored pants, and it was very jarring. That's what I want to know.
He at one point posted a picture of himself wearing flesh-colored pants, and I said, "Why are you naked from the waist down, though?" And he blocked me.
I'm almost positive that was for the bit, but it's a hilarious bit, and it's the funniest reason to get blocked.
Yeah.
Funniest reason to get blocked ever. So,
yeah.
I'm here.
He does say that the women are running laps around the men, which is true, because Vic Joseph tells us that every week. And also true because the women have been better in NXT for a long time. So, yeah, it's good that way. Finally he says, I rattled a cage, and then so 10 minutes later, maybe 12 minutes later, Robert Stone is on the phone and says, "No, Grayson, I need you back here now. Come back." So the only person who would have given an order to have him expelled from the building would be you. So that means Grayson Waller left of his own accord. So he basically did a wedding crasher bit in NXT and cut the promo of his life, and then said, my work here is done. And like, I feel like you would, if you were going to do that, it would get you the kind of attention that you would immediately need to be dealt with, and then you could say your piece to somebody. So it makes zero sense that the story was that he left and then the general manager had to beg him to come back. That doesn't make any sense.
That's a very good point. I missed that entirely of like, because Shawn Michaels didn't say get out of the building. Like that, that was not the instruction.
Like he clearly even if HBK did, he clearly outranks Robert Stone.
Yeah,
so Robert Stone can't then get on the phone like, yeah, ignore what my boss said. You get your ass back here now, mister.
That's very funny. That's a very good point. And also, my only complaint about this whole thing, and I really liked the content of it. I was really impressed by the delivery of it too, because it was a very long promo, and Grayson Waller had him the whole time. He kept it heel, which is always the danger with a promo like this. I would love if these weren't relevant so frequently. Like, I would love if the creative wasn't constantly needing to be challenged so that we get like a pipe bomb version promo like every 18 months. It feels like it would be nice if the product was just good and we didn't have to do it. To follow it up immediately with the creative inconsistency is actually hilarious. So kudos to them for the bit. There was a point that I said that I was going to make, but I'll give Jeremy credit for it because it was a good one. And I am more often than not a woman of my word. But Jeremy Lambert says, while they're verbally bitch slaps the entire men's roster, the response is playing touch butt backstage crying, saying that dude is mean and wrong, and pretty much just prove Grayson Waller right in the process. And that's kind of what we get.
Yeah.
It's a really good point from Jeremy that he like calls them a bunch of whiners and they respond basically by whining in this.
Myles, Borne, and Taven High say, who does he think he is saying that about us? Oh, well, you've got your big match against Cam Hendrix tonight. You better win so we can get our tag title shot next week. And then Mason Rook comes in like, oi, who does that bro think he is talking about us that way? Oh, well, I'll deal with him later. I'm going to take out Cam Hendrix tonight. And like, no, don't do that, because if you do that, then Myles loses via disqualification, and then we can't get our tag title shot. Oh, right. Well, I want to do it anyway. Bye. And when Tiffany's like, yeah, we'll deal with that later. Deal with it now. Like, if he, like, it's the I just thought they were going to have Mason Rook cause the disqualification, and that way that Tavion Heights was going to be pissed and lead to the thing. But no, they ended up not doing that. But it was very funny that Mason Rook was like, I'm gonna attack him during your match, and both guys were like, oh, please don't. And he's like, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And neither of them said, you could attack him right now. The match isn't for like another half hour. You could do that. You could do it now, or do it after the match. But it was just like, no, it must be during the 12 minutes that you were in a heated contest with him in the ring. And I'm like, I don't feel like, I'm
a little nervous that the magic of Mason Rook as a weekly episodic wrestling television star might have been in his mullet. I don't actually think that's true. I just think it's a funny way to phrase this, but they have not figured it out with this guy yet. And that does not mean they're not gonna, and it does not mean it's his fault, and it does not mean he's not very impressive. It just means that I am wrong, because I was like, why do we need developmental for developmental? Evolve is somewhat of a silly idea. They need it. They need a testing ground, because this is, for better or for worse, NXT, through all of the eras and changes, has remained a hybrid standalone product and developmental product. Because there are weeks, this is one of them, most certainly, that this is the best show across all three brands. Mm-hmm. So And I didn't think it was particularly excellent, but I saw what I saw of Raw. So I hope that they figure it out soon. I think it's I hate giving the same criticism over and over and over again, but they keep proving it right. Like the playbook being thin with setups for stuff. I don't think he's I don't think the best representation of Mason Rook is this, like, we're talking backstage guy. Like that, it just doesn't work. Like
No.
it's something, I don't know why, but the inorganic nature of it really seems to create a disconnect between the audience and him, to me. Like there's some wrestlers that's fine with, and I'm sure they'll figure it out and he'll figure it out. But there's something about and this isn't just NXT, it's sometimes more present in NXT, but across the board, that's very after school special to do it in this almost Charlie Brown character way. I'm going to interrupt the match next week. It really doesn't jive with Mason Rook so far.
Also, I think they're still really trying to figure out what this dude's vibe is. But like, was he wearing a denim baseball cap, or was I just mistaken? Because when he was wearing a denim jacket and jeans, that's a Canadian tuxedo. And then a denim baseball cap. That's the Canadian top hat. I don't
It's Canadian black tie. Yeah.
It is a Canadian black tie affair starring Mason Rook and only Mason Rook. He's the only one invited to the Canadian black tie party.
He's very, very English.
Yeah. They think they're really struggling to figure out what to do with this guy, where the problem is that he already had a cool persona in England. And you changed it, and stop trying to change it to other things. Let him try that for a while.
Sure.
And if it doesn't work, then you can figure something else out. But you never let him be that. You know,
it's so funny because like normally I'm not puzzled why it's not working, because it's like they either undercook something so much or they go so full tilt in one direction. You're like, you gotta lay off this because it's cheesy and over the top. With him, it's not that. So I'm still trying to like put words to what that means, but my dad has words, Alex.
Yeah, he does.
Kind ones. Let's say greetings, SGS, Sour King Alex, and Road Warrior Kate. Here's to another Tuesday with the A's Buddy NXT. Save us from NXT, Sir JW of Pringle. Thank you, Dad.
JW Pringle says stuck in the IT salt mines on this fight Tuesday. Much love to amazing Alice, Sister Killer Kate, and the phenomenal Papa Paul Elizabeth. Proud of you all. Meet Normus says, I'm a 2027 partial season ticket holder for the Nationals. They invited me to a happy hour with 2 free drinks and unlimited glizzies and burger sliders. They know better now. How you know? How they know is they watched you shovel 3 dozen burger sliders into your mouth and said, we're going to take a bath on this thing. We can't invite that guy back.
They were like, we should have known by the name enormous. JW Pringle calling my dad phenomenal. I don't even think my dad knows he's AJ Styles.
No, he doesn't even know it.
He didn't build us a full house, but he did build us a deck. So it could be the deck where Papa Paul Elizabeth was built. Enormous
says, Kate back from grind running. Hello, favorite vegan.
Very happy to be back. But a welcome and refreshing trip for sure.
Yeah. Dave Costa says, legitimately excellent promo from Waller. A great example of what it looks like to take an opportunity from the clouds and crush it. Rooting for him. As soon as she showed up, I was like, they don't want to do a Santana versus Tony D thing. They want to have Santana take it from a heel that everybody doesn't like to help Santana's presentation. And so they want to do a transitional thing from Tony D to Grayson Waller to Santana. Because it doesn't, I mean, yeah, the men's roster is not in super great shape, but you literally, it could be in better shape, but you bitched out Naraku after like 2 months. So you didn't have to do that, Lord knows. So instead of that, you could have not bitched him out in 2 months. And Santana didn't even get here yet. He just showed up last week, and he wasn't even Cruz Montana then. Nobody knew who he was. So I think that like deciding Grayson Waller is now the star of the show for a bit feels like they have a very specific thing that they want to do on a specific timeline, and it feels like it doesn't involve Tony D losing the title to Santana or Montana. He's not going to lose the He's not going to lose the title to Miley Cyrus. He's just not going to do it.
No,
I refuse to do the job for Miley Cyrus. He said.
I love the idea that Hannah Montana and Cruz Montana are related in some way. That's phenomenal. We could have It's the Climb playing, like one of her OG tracks when he finally wins the title. I'm here as hell for that.
Just a deaf rebel version of the Best of Both Worlds.
First of all, love that you just know that. Second of all,
my daughter watched every episode of Hannah Montana in 8 days. In 8 days, it took her to get through the entire series. So yeah, no, I remember that song playing multiple times an hour. Yeah.
I do think this is a really smart because you've been saying, and I've been agreeing for a long time, like when there's people not being utilized on the main roster, send them here to do something that's meaningful. And also with Grayson Waller, like it has not felt like his talent problem to me at any point. Like in NXT, that he was in the Goofy Rainbow era and his booking was annoying. Other than his leaving the ring finisher, like his moveset's great. He was knocking out legends and tangoing with the top of the card, and then they just stopped it. The tag team was good until they overextended its stay. The New Day stuff never made sense, but like, far be it from me to say you shouldn't work with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Right.
But like, it's funny that he got sent here to reestablish himself when I feel like they, on the main roster, made no real effort to support him. And I feel like he excelled at the things that he was given. So I feel like this was the best version of him that we've ever seen. Like this felt very authentic and grounded and cool. And like he doesn't have to go far out of his way to do good work. Like this was very straightforward. Was well written too, honestly. Like good for them. More of that type of stuff, please. And I'm someone that is sick of these work shoot stories, but this was a good one. Like this one made sense. I like this.
Yeah, he did make like my career the past couple of years has been just dismal, and that's on me. But now I'm not going to let that happen anymore. And I thought that was good. Tim McFall says, "Welcome back to the grind, Kate. Alex, you didn't outrant SP3, but it was a valiant effort and one I agree with. SP3 was right yesterday too. F the Fed." There's a lot that was wrong with that segment. The song was dumb and everything, but most of the thing was the utilization of Ryan Garcia because I was not familiar with why it was a bad choice to use that guy until today, where I saw a lot of things of why it would be a bad idea to use Ryan Garcia the way that they did. So yeah, I mean, you could say F the Fed. I will just say they don't make good decisions. That's what I would say. They don't make good decisions. Yeah.
Poor decisions.
Yeah. Our first match of the night. Vic thought he could get cute. No. I specifically told you Izzi, Lizzy next. You're like, it's Izzi versus Lizzy tonight on NXT. That is not the thing that I asked you for. And you know that, Victor. You know it.
Also,
Izzi, Lizzy next. It's very simple.
You wouldn't, but I would take an Izzi Dame versus Lizzy Rain, or Izzi Dame, Lizzy Rain next, because their full names rhyme, which that's magic. But I'm with you on Izzi Lizzy next. Yeah. It's almost like if you're gonna get it's worse to get that close to doing it and not do it than to just not even try. Like it was salt in the wounds that was just unnecessary for Vic Joseph. And I like Vic Joseph quite a bit, but if you're not going to follow through, don't feign like you're gonna. It just hurts my feelings.
Right. I think a lot of it was the fact that mostly they were hung up on how many times is Booker going to say the wrong one,
Sure.
or Lizzy.
There should be a counter.
And I mean, like, you know exactly who you're looking at. I mean, they don't look alike. If
I would say Lizzy Rain is one of the most distinct personalities in all of professional wrestling
like
right
if you're
now.
looking at her and you accidentally say Izzy, your brain is wrong. But it's Booker.
You're not you're not seriously trying.
No, you're not. So it's there. Okay. This is going to sound like I'm throwing incredible shade at somebody, and I'm not attempting to, except for I am throwing shade at Booker, but I'm going to sound like I'm throwing shade at somebody else.
Is it me?
No, they were talking about how Sean Spears was, jumped out of the gang that he created, and Booker T was defending it, that Sean Spears didn't do his job. And he said that maybe he didn't do a good enough job at elevating other members of the culling. Look at Niko Vance. How many shots at the world title has Niko Vance had? Says Booker T. The answer, of course, being none. Because he's Niko Vance! I don't think if Sean Spears had gone into HBK's office and said, I need you to give my boy Niko Vance a shot at the world title, I would hope he would be laughed out of the room. Because Niko Vance was not booked to do anything that would have gotten him close to a title shot at anything. But Booker T is like, Sean Spears should have used all of his tremendous pull to get Niko Vance multiple title shots. But Niko Vance was barely wrestling. And when he wasn't like setting the world on fire. If you had booked him to if you had booked Niko Vance to have 10 straight squash matches, then I would agree that maybe somebody should have gone to bat for the guy to get a North American title shot. But you didn't book that for him. You booked him to be this large, fairly mute version of this gang that likes to hang out in a shapeless void while one guy hugs his own elbows and the other one, decides she's going to be incredibly evil and blunt.
There's nothing wrong with witchy blondes, all right? Nothing wrong with a little evil blonde. We approve of that around here, my friend.
Okay. All right.
Yes, that is quite silly for several reasons, including not only was Niko Vance not exactly on a heater of picking up wins, it wasn't even his role in the faction. That wasn't even who he was as a wrestler on screen. And also, to say Sean Spears, I guess kind of to Grayson Waller's point, all of the success was around the women in this. So it's of the members, one of them was kicked out, but Tatum Paxley, very successful.
Yeah.
And Izzy Dame held the title, pretty damn successful.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty good success rate if we're being so for real. It's just it's on the female side, and one of them got kicked out because of Izzy's bad attitude. I really liked this match, actually. I thought they worked very well together. And I'm like how we get to be proud of wrestlers when we see them grow. I feel like Izzy Dame is really, really come into her own. And it's cool to see it flourish. And Red Velvet had this trajectory in ROH. Nobody would ever know it because I'm one of 8 people that watch ROH. But you saw Red Velvet transform who she was in ring as a wrestler. Hers was split up by injuries. But then all of a sudden there was okay, I got all that. And now I'm Red Velvet. Her star power went through the roof. Her confidence, her swag, through the roof. knock out my headphones here.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with Izzy Dame, we're seeing, like she put the pieces together in the ring, and now it's all kind of starting to gel a little bit more. And she was in there with kind of a caricature of a wrestler too, so I thought she did a good job kind of staying more grounded in this. Lizzy Reign's a hoot and a holler, Alex.
she's both a hoot and a holler.
Yeah, she's both those things. The interference was both expected and unnecessary.
Oh boy! So Sean Spears shows up behind Niko Vance, and then with a chair, and then does one of these, and Niko Vance falls over. He is so afraid of maybe getting hit with a chair, which is a thing that
he is the
Sean
chairman.
Spears does with a lot of people. So like it's you got to expect it at some point. And he didn't even actually hit him with it. He just
feigned to.
He 2 for flinching. That's what I'm gonna say to Niko Vance. 2 for flinching. And Izzy Dame 10 for being distracted by Niko Vance flinching. Like he flinched, so he gets 2, but you were distracted by it so much so that you walked into the thunderstruck knee when you had the match well in hand. So you get 10. I'm sorry.
The thing is, Izzy Dame is just like an empath. So it's like when someone flinches, like she feels that on like a deeply personal level. That made her, like so many times with these interference finishes, Alex, made her look dumb and not protected, which is unfortunate. And I'm happy for Lizzy Rain though. That thunderstruck knee when she has the right opponent to sell it is really cool.
Yeah.
I think Nikita Lyons was the one that I was like, that doesn't look good. Not even the fault of like Nikita or anything. It was partly camera angle too, but like when she's in there with the right people, it's like the coolest finisher in wrestling. But she's a blast. I love watching her.
Yeah. The first thing that Cruz, Montana. That's going to be even harder for me to say than
this
Blake
is going to be.
I swear.
This is worse by miles. This is hard.
Yeah. Because like he's been on this show. We've talked about Mike Santana doing stuff on this show. Like it would be like if Mariah May spent a whole bunch of time in TNA as the Knockouts World Champion and was on screen as Mariah May and then showed up and was like, I'm Blake Monroe now. Like
it's very
from a rival place and they didn't want to give her that thing. So
like Joe Hendry got to be Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace got to be Jordan Grace and keep her spelling, which is a unique one. Ethan Page got to be Ethan Page. So what is it now that like Mike Santana? I when I say that, I'm not like, what is it like? Does he own it? Like I don't know what the protocol is, but Cruz Montana, great story behind it, but like he's Mike Santana.
He is the first thing he does on the show is like just hang out backstage saying, hey, what's up to people, including Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar. Later, he's like, hey, what's up to Hank and Tank? He's just getting familiar with all these people that he's already met because he was on this show multiple times.
Well, Noam Dar was out with injury. Romeo Moreno was not here yet. Hank and Tank were probably in Japan.
No, that's silly. Don't do their work for them. This is all bad. Saquon Sugars shows up, and Noam is like, hey, sorry, we couldn't get the job done against Dark State, but we'll get him next time, blah, blah, blah. And then Saquon's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm not the same guy that, you spun the block on in our 6-man tag a while back. And he's like, yeah, well, we'll see. And then Kalani Jordan shows up and complains about not getting opportunities. And in order to make sure that nobody takes her seriously in any possible way, Mike Santana slinks off while she's talking to like, oh wow, this girl's crazy. I just met her because I've never been here before, but I should probably leave the room while she's got her back turned. It's just a weird thing to do in his first segment as part of the NXT roster formally.
Know what I realized was Mike Santana met all those people. Cruz Montana is brand new.
Cruz Montana, a completely new guy. Entirely new guy. Yeah.
Kalani, ugly as she might be, hideous as she might be.
I mean, maybe it's not even that. Obviously, we know not a looker, but maybe she smells so bad that Mike Santana had to leave. So really, she is a 2.5 at best in the looks department.
Yeah.
And smells like rotten eggs. Her feet smell like rotten eggs. You can just tell that Kalani Jordan.
She is obviously Kimmy Giblering backstage. That is the only reason you would walk off from her, is that she's such a hideous troll. And a new layer that we've chosen to add, kind of a stinker.
Yeah. Vanity Project, they're very upset about having a match with Tavion and Myles next week that hasn't even been made yet because Myles hasn't beaten Cam Hendrix yet, and yet they're still complaining about it a lot. So
I was like, well, let it play out.
Yeah, Jackson Drake is like, hey, doesn't matter. I'll be North American champion soon. And then they're all walking out. Keanu Carver is walking in, and Michael Lockwood stops and gives him the eye. She gives Keanu Carver, she's like, I'm gonna trade up. And Jackson Drake stops and goes, Micah, you good? I am now. And then she leaves. And I just want to see an arm wrestling contest. That's all I want to see. Keanu Carver and Michael Lockwood in an arm wrestling contest. That's it.
Bring back. Wait, what was the movie about arm wrestling? Over the Top?
Over the Top. Yeah.
Arm wrestling contest between the two of them with that theme. Yeah. Oh, I am Danhausen and Joe Hendry could never. An over the top arm wrestling match between the two of them with that song. Yeah. Boom.
Keanu Carver walks in, and Robinson's like, oh God, I'm really sorry about what happened with EK Prosper. I'm really sorry. I told him not to do it, but he did it anyway. I'm so sorry about what happened last week. He's like, hey, no, it's fine. I would just please, if you would be so kind, could you grant me a match with EK Prosper for next week? Oh, that's all you want? That's it? Okay, you got it. All right. Thank you. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. And Keanu Carver leaves. And Robert Stone is like, that was odd. And I thought that was good that Robert Stone was like, I didn't expect that. And this is where he yells at Grayson Waller to get back in the building. And I'm like, I still feel it's weird that Grayson Waller even left the building. It's like, all right, okay.
He beast out.
There were 2 hype videos. Talk about them back to back here.
If you and I showed up, do you feel like we could get matches just by like if you knew like a scary ghost story? I think you could scare Robert Stone into giving you a match. That's how impish she comes across.
Yeah.
If you just had like the right, I feel like if you just like hissed.
If I just held a flashlight right here. And said,
all right. Who do you want?
And there, hanging from the door handle, was the missing hook.
Alex Pulaski versus Tristan Angels next.
So there's a hype video for Lola Vice, and this one is really nothing. It's just Lola Vice is very good at underground matches. The 2-minute hype video, and it was literally, it requires you to not know what an underground match is, and B, not know anything about Lola Vice's history in said underground matches for this to be any kind of new information about anything at all. And I understand why they do that, so that you get you up to speed if you are new, But this one gives you nothing. This one gives you nothing. The other one we're about to talk about gave us a lot of stuff that was mostly very sad.
That is accurate. On both counts. It's been a big 72 hours for lore, Alex, in wrestling. I listened to your post show that I was not on yesterday. Oh, yeah. By the way, a ring post with a chair concerto is called a post-certo. I don't know why you were struggling with that yesterday. That's obviously.
I'm sorry, I thought it was conchair post. I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Oh, conchair post is good. You were struggling there.
Okay.
Big 72 hours for lore between how AEW ended with Redemption, between everything yesterday with the Shield lore and today with this. But yeah, I think the intent was to give us a flavor of what underground matches can do. This took up more oxygen than it needed to, and it should have just been like a highlight reel of Lola kicking ass in them. It should have just been 40 seconds of something you could have also put on Instagram of just like killed it here, killed it here, killed it here, killed it here kind of thing. And in my opinion, that like if I'm looking at wrestling TV minutes, I'm not spending this many on that.
Right.
But the other one, like you said, loaded and mostly very sad.
Yeah. Kendall Gray talks about, how I've never been in an underground match, and Lola Vice she's taking me too lightly. I'm going to train. And so I went and trained with my dad, and this got me in the feels as a girl dad myself. The idea of, it's like, I know her. I know nobody knows my daughter better than I do. I know when I can push her and when she needs a break. And I know all the things to get through to her. She's going to be totally prepared. And I was like, this is nice. I like this. But I wasn't prepared for the real gut punch, which is the first time we've seen Julius Creed not wearing a lucha mask in about 6 months, is when he is brought in as the star guest trainer of Kendall Gray, a dude who can't get a match on the main roster, even though he's the most obviously talented wrestler of the past goddamn decade, and he can't get a match on the main roster, but he is, God bless him, he is everything that Grayson Waller said the guys were as charisma vacuums, because he was given a script to read. Wow, Kendall Gray. I first saw her and I knew there was something special. He said, this is that when you're training for the match of your life, you have to bring in the big guns. Haha, no, but seriously. And I was like, oh no, don't give the man a script to read. Let him just try to sound like an actual person. And also, do you know who would be really great with a guy like Grayson Waller as his tag team partner? This guy.
My God.
Listen, I love him and Brutus together, but like, this is a dude who needs a mouthpiece, because woof. He read from a script, and it sounded like the jock in your ninth grade English class reading a book report done for him by the nerd that he beat up to get him to do the book report for him. And it's like, yes, well, in A Tale of Two Cities, there are two cities, and this is a tale about them. Like, oh no, this is why they can't put him on TV, because so much of Raw is talking, and he is incapable apparently of talking. But he was training her. They talked about how Kendall Gray says that he was actually the one who got her the tryout at WWE, who said, you should try this, you'd be great at it. And unlike Kendall Gray, it's impossible for him to sound like a human being. And I feel really bad for the guy, because he is so incredibly talented in the ring. But, some people just don't have that.
Yeah.
And the best part about old school wrestling is when they found a dude who had a really great look and could do something in the ring, they got him a manager if he couldn't cut a promo. And you're not allowed to do that unless that guy is Paul Heyman. And for the love of God, keep Paul Heyman the hell away from Julius Creed.
Remember when they had Malcolm Bivens?
I do. I remember that well.
That was a great time. And it sold us on Diamond Mine in several iterations, but that one too. This was heartbreaking for several reasons, all of which you named. I miss watching Julius Creed work so much.
Me too.
And I also really like. Well, my only criticism of this is like, you don't have to continue to sell us on Kendall Gray now. Like they are like still pushing like a wait till you see this girl, and it's like, well, she's the champion. Like we figured that out.
We figured it out.
I think that's because this was a catch-up video package, like that hey, if you're tuning in kind of thing. But like you sold, signed, sealed, delivered. She's ours. Like I'm in on it. I thought the segment last week was so good between the two of them. So I don't need them to keep pushing it that way. I do need Julius Creed to wrestle and not do these. That's we're getting the wrong amount of the right thing and the right amount of the wrong amount of the wrong thing and the wrong amount of the right thing.
We are
He's
definitely
so
getting that.
good. Get him a manager. Sign him up.
Yeah. There was a
Like
backstage segment. Okay, good.
Just like the fact that Fraxium versus the Creeds isn't. We haven't seen the title change hands between the three of them, or between both those teams.
Well, here, like, okay. Again, I have not watched SmackDown since around Halloween. Are Damian Priest and R-Truth still the tag champs?
That is correct.
When was the last time they did anything with those belts? Did they lose?
Hold on.
Did they lose the belts?
This is so sad that I don't know.
The War Raiders are back now?
The War Raiders are back now. It's so sad that it's so inconsequential that I reviewed the show and didn't have an answer for you immediately. But yeah, there's been. They're hoping
teasing a feud with the War Raiders.
Yeah, it's underway. It's underway.
And I knew the War Raiders were the AAA tag team champions. It's sad to me that I knew that, but did not know who the SmackDown tag champions were.
Yeah.
Like, nobody is saying you have to make tag team wrestling the focus of Raw or SmackDown, but you could. They've given up on a section of the audience who enjoys wrestling.
Yes,
they've given up on them. We're not going to try to appeal to you at all. We're not going to do that. We've given up. Like, we don't have to try to appeal to you. If you want wrestling so much, go watch that other company. You know what I mean? They're going to wrestle for 30 minutes in every match. They're going to start a pay-per-view an hour early and edit at the exact same time. They'll wrestle a lot. Go watch that. But there used to be a time where they would do all of this in-ring promo stuff and lore and giant angles and everything, but they also had a section of the card that was built for the sickos.
Sure.
And that was the undercard and the mid-card, the tag scene. It would go back and forth. Like, there's no reason why you can't say, and they did it for a while last year. The SmackDown tag division was excellent. for a little
SmackDown Tag
bit.
Division in the U.S. title picture, and then they killed the tag
They
division.
were excellent, and then they decided we're not
going
to do either of those things. So we're going to put the U.S. title on Trick Williams, who doesn't want to wrestle, and then we're going to feud him with Baron Corbin because we're trying to run off every one of our fans.
Because fuck Carmelo Hayes is apparently what they say every time there's a big pay-per-view.
And then for the tag division, we're just gonna R-Truth and Damian Priest Comedy Hour, where you could be saying, okay, one set of tag team championships should be defended at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
We have two sets of them. Neither set is being defended. One set is I don't even know what they're doing. The other set is also not on the card. So for a second there, I was remembering back to WrestleMania when the Vision was in a 6-man tag, but they're not in a 6-man tag for SummerSlam. They're just not doing anything. And Braun Breaker is the saddest man alive. And so, but there's no reason why you couldn't say, okay, the SmackDown is where we're going to put all of our worker tag teams, and we're going to hot potato the titles back and forth, and then we're going to do a crazy 4 corners tornado tag at SummerSlam on the undercard of night 2, where all these guys get to go insane. Fraxium, the Creeds, pick 2 other teams, and have them and let it be a car crash that everybody can get involved in and love, even though the lore isn't there. The car crash spectacle of it would be enough to keep people involved who were doing that, but they've completely given up on that. You could easily just say, well, who are our most exciting tag teams to watch in the ring? Let's figure out a way to get those 2 teams fighting each other at one of our biggest pay-per-views on the undercard of one of the 2 nights. And they refuse to do it because they do not care about any of it.
You know what's really sad is that there's 3 sets of titles and none of them are being defended because the women's one is a 6-woman tag too.
Well,
so
that's the women's tag division has its own problems. But yeah,
we'll be here all night not talking about NXT.
Yeah, no, exactly. So 7.5 minutes ago I was about to say we have a backstage segment.
This is all because we just want to see Julius Creed wrestle. That's so sad.
Jada Parker and Thea Hale are now besties.
Yes.
They're another couple bestie tag team. And Jada Parker's like, hey, thanks for what you did last week. You didn't have to do that, but you did. And it's like, yeah, well, I hate Natty. And you've been nice to me recently, so hey, oh, by the way, I just finally got that 5 minutes with Stone, and he said that Natty's really pissed about what I did last week. And he made a tag team match against Nikita Lyons and Carmen Petrovich with me and you. And Jada's like, okay, cool. Really? You'll team with me? I'm like, Thea Hale. Like, I know your whole deal is that you're completely not confident unless you're on cocaine and you're trying to get off of it right now.
Uppers and downers, man.
Listen, this is the thing. She requires a little bit of a substance to like be outgoing. There's a lot of people who are like that, but like when she is not on her substance, caffeine, let's be honest, it's caffeine, it's not cocaine, although it's probably cocaine. But she's just like, oh, nobody likes me, and she basically turns into Eeyore when she's not. And I'm like, okay, there's got to be a happy medium you could live in. Maybe if you just halved your dosage, maybe then you could even out. But
she just shows up and is normal and relaxed. That would be honestly ideal. But I don't hate the direction this is going in because it'll keep Nikita and Carmen on TV too. But my takeaway from this was, man, Jada Parker is a really natural talker. Like whenever they're ready to call her up, like I think she'll have a completely different flavor than anybody on the women's roster. on either women's roster, because she has like all the natural intonation of like a Becky or whatever, but she has this like very cool, calm thing about her that
Jada
that
Parker
I
might
gravitate to.
never hold a title. She might never hold a title in NXT, and she will be as big on the main roster as Bianca Belair, who also never held a title in NXT.
Yeah, that's funny that you. Yeah, that's a great shout.
Like she's going to be a gigantic hit immediately.
I think so too.
And I just, I think it's interesting to like, we're gonna bide our time with you for your entire time in NXT, and then we're gonna probably strap a rocket to you as soon as you get on the main roster. It's
I hope of anyone, she's called up with incredible intentionality, because we see what happens when that's not the case.
Yeah.
There's two. They've screwed up so many call-ups on the main roster, but the two that blow my mind are Braun Breaker and Blake Monroe, because they have the look that they love for the main roster. Like Jordan, I wish I was more surprised that was the case, but I'm not. Jada, I think, like this, I hope she's treated, not booking wise, but with the same careful intentionality that like a Gunther was, or Oba was, of just like, we know exactly what we're doing with you for the next 12 weeks. Because I really, really, really think like the sky's the limit with her. But watching this was exactly why, like, this was not all that significant, but she just sounds like she's having a human conversation. Thea Hale needs to find a way to marry high energy and quick talking with like just literally some enunciation, because I couldn't hear what she was saying in a lot of this, and it wasn't the miking, like she's rushing through her words for the gimmick, but like then you're missing lines. So that was kind of my takeaway, was the contrast of that. But this is a fine little title adjacent program, and I'm glad that Thea Hale remains in the mix. That's good.
Greg Sherry says that WWE is just an advertising space for the rest of TKO's properties. The actual show doesn't matter. Yeah.
Watch WWE Unreal and see Liv Morgan cutting time from her match for advertising, and that tells you where their priorities are. Like, I'm not blaming her for that. Like, weirdos on the internet, but like, that's, we need to make sure we can get our advertising, and please go cut your shit down by 3 minutes or whatever is egregious to me.
So we get our North American Championship match, Myles, Borne, Cam Hendrix. We get to watch Cam Hendrix do more than we had before, which is good. I'm still not entirely sold. I really hate how much Booker loves his stupid pose that is not the Heisman pose, but he insists on calling it the Heisman pose. It makes me almost as angry as I am about the Painmaker. Like, it's I can't stand it. And eventually Mason Rook comes out, and Tavion Heights jumps on his back to stop him from interfering during the match. And Myles Borne wins with the Borne Barn. And the Vance is like, now you can beat him up. And so then he does. And then the Vanity Project attacks Myles and Tavion, but Myles and Tavion fight them off, and they get a tag team match next week.
Yeah, this is not an NXT problem. This is a wrestling problem. I'm very fatigued on champions going after other championships. This one, at least the story justifies it. And again, that's more main roster and AEW fatigue of just watching so much damn wrestling.
Well, yeah.
But this is fine, and I'm glad that, like, we knew Myles Borne was a great wrestler before this reign, and we didn't learn pretty much anything else story-wise about Myles Borne up until this point. So I like that the friendship dynamic is coming into play here. This was more about the post-match than the actual title defense.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Emily Agard interviews Lizzy Rain mostly about popcorn chicken, and this is where the whole WWE is an advertising company for other TKO properties and KFC. They've done more with their partnership for KFC than they've ever done for their partnership with TNA. I'll tell you that much. I'm pretty sure Grayson Waller's not allowed to cut a promo talking about how much KFC popcorn chicken sucks.
It's mostly about popcorn chicken. Absolutely melted me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's I'll tell you what, if I'm vegan, so I'm not partaking, but if someone was gonna sell me a popcorn chicken, it was Lizzy Rain. So you tell them, girl.
Popcorn chicken is popcorn chicken. Man, they were like, how can we give them more breading and less meat than a nugget? It really is. It's like there's the flecks that fall off that are too small to be a nugget, and they're like, let's just bread those things and fry them up, and people will eat them because nobody has any self-control. I know, because I was like this, but like the idea that like
Alex shoots on popcorn chicken.
Somebody's got to do it. Nobody's going to do it on WWE television.
No one's going to do it on WWE radio either.
No, that's true.
It's our responsibility. But I hate to have to do this, Alex, but
yeah,
we're the ones that are in the pocket of big chicken tender. Like it's not even our true feelings on popcorn chicken. It's just we're getting paid by chicken tenders, and
I eat enough grilled chicken tenderloins that I would absolutely accept a sponsor from Big Chicken Tender. Like that's basically my entire diet at this point is grilled chicken tenderloins. You eat about 18 ounces of those things for like 150 grams of protein. It's great. So good. And like almost no fat, 0 carbs. Great way to get all your protein in a day. That's what I do.
I don't know what to pursue with the rest of the segment, Alex. I really... Oh, remember Jimmy Dean Ambrose? What a guy.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wait, Alex, can we inquire about your t-shirt? Is this a new t-shirt?
It is not a new t-shirt. It is an old
t-shirt. I feel
t-shirt.
like I haven't seen it.
You've never seen me wear it.
Air freight. Is it because you're so
Air freight.
Skinny?
Lauche Air Freight. Do you know what that's from?
I don't.
The chat will tell you. The chat will tell you where Lauche Air Freight is from. It's not from The Simpsons. This is a shirt that is basically brand new, even though I bought it years ago because when it got shipped to me, it was already too small.
Gotcha.
It was an incredibly small version of the size that it was. And I said, oh, well, eventually I'll lose enough weight that I'll be able to fit into it. And it's a little
eventually
roomy,
is
actually.
now.
Yeah.
Chad is not telling me. Community King of the Hill.
It is from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Duh.
Where Indiana Jones runs away from the Chinese billionaire Lao She and is like, haha, I'm getting into this freight air freight plane. You'll never catch me now, Lao She. And he closes the door and it says Lao She Air Freight. It's one of the greatest sight gags in cinema. It's so good. And I saw this and immediately bought it without thinking this is probably going to be too small for me. And it is now not too small for me.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Look at you.
This is so great. I always loved this. I'm down enough weight to get back in some high school clothes. Thanks, Heat Dome. That's also great. Yeah. So I was going to a rec center last week that had a sauna in it, and it was really just I would like lift and then like sit in the sauna for a half hour. Really felt really great. This week I'm not in that town, so I'm not going to that rec center. But yesterday, the heat index was 113 in my town. So I literally sat in my own garage and sweated more than I would have in the sauna. Like it was that hot in my own garage.
Maybe the sauna was the friends we made along the way.
It could have been. It could have been. Anyway, Tavian Angels doesn't like chicken. The Garzas want to say, hey, we got your back, Bronco Nima, and Lucien Price does not look good about it. He's like, I don't see if I like that.
Yeah, he was tough.
Robert Stone is Grayson. So you're on your way back to the building now? A half hour after I told you to get back to the building? You're finally
he got far away in that time.
He really did. He did. I don't know if he was already on the plane back to Australia. But he says, make sure as soon as you get back here, you come to my office. And it does seem like Grayson Waller on the phone agreed to that stipulation, but then did not follow through later in the night. Zarya is like, hey, what's the deal with making me defend my title against 3 ladies instead of 1? And I was like, yeah, well, extenuating circumstances. And then Ren is here like, hey, who's going to be my challenger for the next speed championship? She said, and Zarya says, North American title takes precedent. And he's like, yeah, right. I would have to organize a whole tournament, 4 women. Where am I going to find 4 women to be in a tournament? And then Ren's like, well, maybe if Zarya is so great, maybe she wouldn't feel bad about being in the tournament. No, a tournament for the speed title is beneath me. And then Robert Stone is like, what if you didn't have to be in a tournament and just got a shot at the speed title? And then Ren, if you're successful in defending the speed title next week against Zarya, you get a shot at the North American Championship. And so we now have 2 women's champions who are fighting each other for their respective titles. And somehow Ren Sinclair will beat Zarya in a speed match so that Ren can get a match against Zarya the following week where she will lose to Zarya. So neither of these women are going to escape unscathed. They'll both take losses while champions, fighting each other for each other's championships. This just feels like Mad Libs of how to book badly.
Well, so starting with Zarya, she's like, I don't like the odds of facing 4 women instead of 1. And I will say, I wouldn't like those odds either. But there's one place that I would go for betting odds, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Where's that?
My bookie AG.
At my bookie.
What happened?
Is it playing? Is it not playing?
Stop.
At my bookie AG, they say that you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And they mean it. NBA, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, UFC, pro wrestling. But that's not it. Motorsports, golf, tennis, darts, cycling, cricket, handball, floorball, rugby, snooker, volleyball, table tennis, cycling. Yeah, you can bet on it at MyBookie AG. They got the best support system in the business. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But go take advantage of being able to bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. They got live esports. They got racing. They got everything at MyBookie AG. And right now, get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. You can bet with Bitcoin and play their great casino games as well. MyBookie AG.
That ad was like, Sean was like, I spent too much time with Kate these past few days. I'm not hanging out on this broadcast anymore.
Also, that ad was just Sean running from the grind again.
Once again.
Running
from the grind. He does allegedly have food poisoning. I think, again, a reaction to maybe hanging out with me so much, or just further grind running from Sean. Like his.
I mean, did he know he was gonna get food poisoning when he called me on Friday? It was like, "Can you host the shows on Sunday and Monday?" Did he plan for the food poisoning?
Maybe he did. Maybe he was like, "This doesn't sit well with me, but I gotta have it," and that could very, very well be. I don't know, but I do think that he has had. We were talking about losing weight before. He's down like 30 pounds, and I think it's all the running from the grind. I think he's got that cardio up.
That's really good cardio.
That's running great.
Because you got to keep your heart rate up while running from the grind. The grind has a motor on it, and if you're gonna run from the grind, you gotta stay ahead of the grind. You know what I mean? Great
cardio keeps the ticker pumping beautifully. So that's
O.T.M loses to BirthRight in about 5 minutes because Perros Del Mal come out, or whatever their names are, the Garzas, and Bronco Nima gets out to be like, "Hey guys, please don't get involved in my match." And Lucien Price, who should not be taking pinfalls to either Stacks or Ponytail Mustache, gets pinned. So the O.T.M threw a guy really far, and I was really hoping it was Ponytail Mustache, because I wanted to say, I didn't know ponytail mustaches could fly, but it was just Stacks, so it wasn't nearly as fun.
He's hung on to that nickname for longer than his work rate is much higher than his nickname indicates, but he joined the goofiest faction of all time, so he's still Ponytail Mustache. Plus the nickname's just too good to let go of, so
yeah, I think
it's a keeper. Man, what an exciting thing to do an angle where we can't see if a tag team is on the same page or not, huh, Alex? But what a unique and different thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're building to this AAA show that they're doing, to
counter programming mania,
counter programming all in,
counter program,
and so we have to do this angle, but I think the very best thing that could happen to Lucien Price is him getting a singles run, because that dude is so impressive with the way he moves really around the ring. And I'm like, I don't know if, again, does he have Julius Creed disease where he can't talk like a human being?
He's got charisma for days, though. Like he's
in the ring for sure, but like talking and looking like you know what the hell you're doing are two different things, because Julius Creed has got charisma in the ring. He just can't talk,
Sure.
Like when you're training for the match of your life, you bring in the big guns. Haha, but seriously.
It's so sad to me. I keep rooting for this guy to get on TV, and in a taped segment, this is the best we can get. Breaks my heart, like legit.
Yeah. Boy. And so Nima and Price, they shake hands, but Price is not pleased with the situation because he got pinned by Ponytail Mustache. And also, the referee took so long to turn around. It was really more like a 7 count. Like, it was like the referee was like, "Hey, what's going on? Apparently, I didn't know that was a thing that happened. 1001, 1002, 1003. Better turn around." Oh, okay. Well, finally. And so, like, that entire time, Lucien Price was knocked out by Ponytail Mustache for a good 10 seconds.
The price was wrong. Am I right?
Yeah, it's true. It was wrong. Kelly Armstrong, man, it should be me facing Kendall Gray in NXT Underground. Izzy Dame is like, you just got here. You need to wait in line. Kalani says, that's funny. You're talking about it, Callie, when I pinned you last week. And if the referee wasn't so stupid, I'd be facing Kendall Gray. And then Reina Volcan walks in and be like, the women's division doesn't rebuild. It reloads with me. I am a bullet and my name is Reina.
Yes, I see. I don't know why she was a robber baron there from an old-timey film, but yeah, I mean, Grayson Waller kind of ate when he said the women's division is the most ready because this stuff was good. I really like that Kalani remains so justified. They've done a good job of going to that well a lot without drying it out. Like the segment that was earlier in the night, unnecessary, but like this kind of stuff is really good from her. I'm excited to see these women all fight. I look forward to contenderships against Kendall Gray. I think they're probably all going to have matches against Kendall Gray, and they'll be great. Like, that's fun.
I don't know enough about Nikki Blackheart to know what to expect, because all we saw her was in a squash match with Skylar Ray, and you know, some of the offense seemed impressive, but like, how are you in a real honest to God match? So I don't know whether or not I'm like, wow, am I salivating at the opportunity to see her versus Kelly Armstrong, or is that just gonna be, maybe you want her against the small girls because that's a better fit for her? You know, I don't know. I honestly don't know enough about Reina Volcan. They do have a lot of talent in that women's division, and I think that they just put the title on Kendall, and it would be ridiculous to take it off of her.
Agreed.
And also, Zarya is very recently the champion, and it would be incredibly stupid after you waited so long. Like, she could have been North American champion, I don't know, 8 months ago, and right about now, she could be winding down that reign, and you could find the right person to beat her for it. But you waited too long, and so she only became champion, like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. So you can't take the title off of her. So you got a whole bunch of really talented women waiting in the wings to lose title matches. This is why it's really important when you have two main women's championships to stagger the title changes, so you don't have two relatively new women who definitely shouldn't be losing the title anytime soon both become champion within days of each other, because then you have a whole bunch of women sitting around waiting to lose matches.
I think also it's not even just the newness of the reigns, it's the mentalities of the titles. Because I don't feel like it's almost to their credit, and that I feel like the women's title gets defended almost as much, if not more, than the North American title. Mm-hmm. Like, they're paced pretty similarly, so you don't have different defense rates. You don't have different, like, hot potato stories very much. This Zarya reign is breaking my heart, because I felt like it was such an easy slam dunk thing, and they just seem to have her be frustrated about minute shit for the most part, has been like the story of the reign. And I just am such a firm believer that she's an unbelievable slam dunk wrestler. Like, and this reign has not been anywhere close to that, and I've been waiting so long for it, so that's disappointing. But I feel like the philosophies of the different titles has gotten lost on the women's side, which isn't the worst thing, because I think it actually says a lot that the women's main title gets defended with decent frequency.
Yeah. So the actual wrestling main event is Shiloh Hill versus Tristan Angels. If you take out the time spent during commercials, it was 6.5 minutes long. So like, they don't care about wrestling. They don't want wrestling. So the crowd chanted for Fog. So the Fog is now a thing. If everyone else came around to where we were on the night of his first ever promo, where we spent 15 minutes talking about how he said, often my parents woke me up in the middle of the night to tell me we had to move because the fog was rolling in. And then he just kept on going. I was like, nope, that's your whole character.
Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
Bell timeout, everyone. Saved by the bell timeout.
Yeah. But I'm glad that it's coming around. And this was very funny to me because sometimes, as much as Vic Joseph likes to tell us how much he loves working with Booker T, sometimes he can't hide his disdain for the man. Tristan Angels. He assaulted. He was so bad out of shape about losing that pageant fair and square that he assaulted Shiloh Hill afterwards, and then later he snuck in a ringside and stole the man's tooth. And Booker says, "Who cares about that? Nobody cares about that. Shiloh Hill's moved on. He doesn't care about his tooth." And like, what do you mean? When did he say that? When did you talk to Shiloh? Did Shiloh say he doesn't care about his tooth? He went to Danhausen and bought another tooth. Like, he cares about his tooth being stolen and smashed. He cares about that. Nobody talks about that. And he's like, he stole the man's tooth book. Like, he was so frustrated with Booker T no-selling the tooth theft that he full on had an outburst, like a real outburst in the middle of it about the tooth. And as sometimes it is, you know what's the funniest part about all this is I want you to say hello to the radio play-by-play duo of WWE Radio. They will be doing play-by-play on WWE Radio for all of SummerSlam. Vic Joseph and Booker T are the radio play-by-play announcers. Imagine not being able to see what was happening and just hearing Booker T yelling over Vic Joseph, "What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?" As though you would be able to interpret, no, that was 5 what the hells, and before it was 7 what the hells, which means this time it's not a finisher. Like, how the hell are you supposed to, like, a radio play-by-play announcer has to like really focus in on everything that's happening because you driving in your car listening to Sirius XM cannot see what is happening. Some of the absolute best calls of any sporting event happen on the radio because the radio broadcasters know exactly how to describe what's happening, when to lay out, when to pause, how to, like, when there are big moments.
They're better announcers more often
because they have to interpret what they are seeing for you who are essentially blind. You cannot see it. You are relying entirely on what they are saying. And so they've got Vic Joseph, who I think would be good at that if he was not being constantly interrupted by an insane man who insists on arguing about the theft of a tooth.
What's brutal is Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett. Like, authentic Wade Barrett, not heel slanted Wade Barrett, would be great at it, I think.
Yeah.
Would be great at it. I don't. Like, 2-night SummerSlam. It's Sunday. Like, the Saturday one will be fine. Doing a radio commentary job for Sunday is with this card. I'm glad they're doing cool and different stuff. That's 8 hours of Booker T with Vic Joseph on, and no visual element is something else. Something else.
Anyway, Shiloh Hill hits the Super Thunderbreaker off the top rope to get the pin on Tristan Angels. You beat him again. Tristan Angels came in with what I thought was a lot of momentum, and they didn't give him. They gave him basically a real quick win over Romeo Moreno, and then stuck him in this thing with Shiloh Hill, where Shiloh Hills are going to beat him a bunch of times, which I feel like is not the best way to start utilizing Tristan Angels, who's got a really good, easily heat getting, heel character, a fun persona, and as far as I can tell, a decent, enough repertoire in the ring so that you can actually use him for something. And I love Shiloh Hill. I'm not arguing that Shiloh Hill should be losing this feud to him, but perhaps you would establish a guy like Tristan Angels where he looks like he's formidable before you then prove that he isn't by having him lose multiple times in a row to Shiloh Hill.
I mean, he lost the Mr. NXT pageant, so I just assumed he's buried right there. Like, he's going to be a jobber. If you lose Mr. NXT, what are you even fighting for?
What is there left for you? Cruz Montana cuts a promo about how he said, "Wow, something I thought I would never say. Cruz Montana is a WWE superstar."
Brother, we didn't think you would say that.
That's true in more ways than one, isn't it? Because you never thought you'd be calling yourself Cruz Montana until this week.
Cruz
I mean,
Montana.
Like the silliness of that statement, because you could absolutely say, "I never thought I'd be calling Mike Santana would be called an NXT superstar, or a WWE superstar." That has weight to it, because Mike, you've been Mike Santana your entire life, but certainly your entire career, but Cruz Montana is nobody. Cruz Montana has no history. Cruz Montana there's nothing attached to Cruz Montana, the name Cruz Montana. And so when you rely so much on the impact of the name Cruz Montana attached to the identity of being a WWE superstar, you recognize how all of those words mean nothing.
Yeah, and especially because he's like the TNA references when he was by the other name. Like, I keep going back to that because it made this promo, which was very well delivered. He's a really good promo. Like, he's a really, really natural talker. This was kind of a more standard first promo, but that's fine.
That's fine.
He comes across as very authentic, but it was a little disorienting for him to be talking about his other success when he's Mike Santana. Like, like, you're just referencing these places where I went by a different name. Piledriver Finisher said he keeps wanting to say French Montana. I keep wanting to say Montoya, like Princess Bride. It was a little stock, but he raises the level of his promos with, like, just how authentic he sounds and how well they're delivered. Yeah, he's a good promo.
Which
we didn't know about him because this is his first one ever, Cruz Montana.
Right. I'm not here to fill a role. I'm here to take a spot. I'm going to be new NXT champion, and I'll say whatever I want to say to Grayson Waller to his face whenever I see him. And then Tony D'Angelo comes out and he says, I've seen some of the hottest names come through the door, and then they tell everybody how they're going to change NXT and run the business. And then they top out pretty quick, and then they want to go to the main roster, and they also top out pretty quick. He didn't say that part, but that's basically what he says. And they stare each other down, and then Grayson Waller comes in and shoves. He did not immediately go to Robert Stone's office.
Correct.
He shoves Cruz into Tony D. It is funny. Here's what we got to do. We got to do this. Like, Vic, again, I know you're watching. when they actually finally do Tony D'Angelo versus Cruz Montana, you have to do Tony Montana next, and which of course is the Pacino character in Scarface. Tony Montana next. Say hello to our little match. And anyway, so they fight back, and Montoya goes to clothesline Waller, and Waller ducks, and so Tony gets clotheslined instead. And then Grayson leaves the ring, and Santana and Tony D stare each other down, and this is a triple threat where Grayson Waller wins.
I think that's probably the way that goes. We've talked about this before, but this Tony D run has felt somewhat neutered. And when Grayson Waller said the only reason you're champion is because everyone else left, I was like, that's the reason you were left with no challengers. It is like the non-kayfabe version of that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened to Tony D after.
I do think that Grayson and a lot of the NXT audience is romanticizing Grayson's run in NXT a little bit. Remember how he took out a restraining order on LA Knight? How well that worked? Remember how he had Sanga be his bodyguard for like 3.5 minutes? Remember how they brought down AJ Styles, and AJ Styles handed him his ass immediately, and then AJ Styles left. Remember how there was a bunch of stuff was
he on the receiving end of the LA Knight? Did that start with Halloween Havoc costumes?
Yes.
LA Knight thing?
Yeah. No, that was his inexplicable heel turn where both he and LA Knight wanted to host Halloween Havoc, and they both dressed up in the same vampire costume, and so they didn't like each other. And on an episode of Lashing Out with Lash Legend, Grayson Waller shoots on indie talent out of nowhere when he had been kind of an affable Australian goof for the entirety of his run. And then one day he was like on an episode of Lashing Out with Lash Legend, he's like, all these indie talents, they can't hold my chuck. And I'm like, what? Wait, how? When is it? What's going on? And then he like broke his arm doing a crazy die elbowed onto
that was nuts.
A ladder during a ladder match. He was undoubtedly one of the bigger stars for some reason. They gave him 2 straight title matches versus Braun Breaker for no reason. Like, he was one of the bigger stars at the time. But he was marred by a lot of weird injuries and terrible go nowhere storylines. Sometimes
when you recall things like LA Knight and Grayson Waller having a feud over a vampire costume and working it out on Lashing Out with Lash Legend, I feel silly for complaining about anything on the current iteration of NXT. That was a dark time, dude.
It was a dark time. No, he jumped Johnny Wrestling out of NXT, and then
that I remember vividly because Candice LeRae just watched it happen.
And no, that was the thing. It was the Johnny Wrestling says goodbye moment, and he got attacked by Grayson Waller with a chair in the back. Before that, and then Johnny actually left. He took like a hiatus. We didn't know where he was going to come back to WWE or go to AEW, and he came to WWE because he made a bad choice, and and now he's planking, but he came back to WWE, had a huge segment on an episode of Raw, and they never used him as a real talent on Raw, like ever. And then they were like, let's bring you back to NXT and you'll get revenge on Grayson Waller. And how you'll get revenge on him is he's going to beat you with a rake in your own front yard while Candice LeRae, your former deathmatch wrestler against men wife, will stand on the front porch going, no, please stop. And just some really
horrendous,
terrible stuff that we have covered.
What a time. What a time.
He's been planking for 9 months.
A full human being could have formed in the womb with how long Johnny Gargano has been planking.
All right, everybody. We have puns. We have puns.
We have puns, baby.
We have puns. Meet Norma says, you can now call me Pork Chop McCluskey. That's his NXT name.
I like it. I'm not mad at that at all.
So there are names, and then we also have geography puns. So I'm going to try and go through and do all the names first. Jim Pringle says, this is not the greatest name in the world. It's just a tribute. Tenacious Me.
I love that.
Yeah. Good.
A Tenacious D tribute? Tenacious Me? I'll take it.
Norma said, oh, no, wait, no. Let's see here. What do we have? Yeah. Actually, most of these are actually geography puns and fake name puns.
Ooh.
So here we go. Liz Stokely has no Idahos. It's just geography pun, but very good from Dre Cherry. Not Mr. Ass, but Mr. Butt, Mr. Butte, Billy Gunn, very good.
Very good.
Meet Norma says Miguel San Diego, Mork McSnork, and Matt Sandman.
Very good.
Greg Cherry says Wyoming. Wyoming.
That's very good.
Very good. Lieutenant Photo says Swamp, Florida.
Very good. Okay.
Greg Cherry says Pennsylvania.
Nice. Look at the hybrid ones. I'm impressed.
Meet Norma says Andrade El Idaho.
Andrade
El Idaho. And Gulf of Mexico Bafemi.
Very nice.
Chris Pereira says Tallahassee.
Very
Greg Cherry says, who better than Grand Canyon?
Very nice.
Louisville says Rey Mysterio. Macho Maine. Macho Maine, Randy Savage. And Alaska Snow.
Very nice. Alaska Snow.
Chris Pereira says no way San Jose.
I like that one a lot.
Greg Cherry says Alabama, Bama Bigelow. Alabama, Bama Bigelow. Very, very good. That one
It's so Alex
personally.
coded.
Thunder Skydancer talks about who could really use a little bit of Grayson Waller cutting promos for him. Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker is a good enough promo. Didn't need anybody, but it would make him happier, I think, than listening to Logan Paul cut promos for him. While Austin Theory makes out with Maxine Dupree and he stands there doing nothing.
He gets no promo time. He gets no babes. He gets no effort put into his creative anymore. It's sad. It's sad. It's so funny how much of I didn't really watch it, but season 3 of Unreal is so focused on the youth. And it's we're watching you screw it up in front of our face as we speak.
Meet Norma says Formica Jones, Santa Vincenzo, Ortiz Kingston, El Grande Puerto Ricano, Bodega Mike, El Gato Mexicano. Those are all other things you could have called Mike Santana instead. You called them these things.
Fair.
And Free Dangos at the ball game, doing my best. Free Mango Dangos.
Free Mango Dangos. God bless.
Chris Perez says Bam Bam Buffalo. And Lubbock Lesnar. Lubbock Lesnar. Tom Valley says Puerto Ricochet.
Very nice.
Greg Cherry says Hoover Damn. And Chris Ferreira says Baton Rougeau.
Okay. Very nice.
I think we heard Baton Rougeau cut a promo on Sunday.
Yeah.
Meet Norma says Thunder Barcelona. We are the Madagascar.
Very nice.
I like this from Sioux Falls, count anywhere.
I really like that one.
This match is for Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls. Lieutenant Photo says Hackensack Attack. Hackensack Attack.
Very nice.
Greg Cherry says Martha's Vineyard. Martha's
very good.
Vineyard.
Very good.
Are we
The
going
demon.
to the Vineyard this year? Chris Pereira says Wheeler Yuma. Chris Pereira says Money in the Burbank.
Very good.
And this is, again, tickling me personally. Craig Cherry says, Mr. Kennedy! Kennedy! Space Center. Again, one of the dumbest and most clever ring anything.
Oh my gosh, brilliant.
Silver Star Scimitar says Mike Montana, Kyle Ohio Riley, Randy Oregon, Cincinnati Neidhart, Louisiana J, Ezekiel Jacksonville, and Green Bailey.
I really like Cincinnati Neidhart a lot.
That's what it's short for. Meet Normus says Val Phoenix, Tommaso Tampa, and Mr. Tijuana.
Very good.
I actually wore my Mr. T shirt on Sunday and forgot to mention it. That was the shirt that I wore during my first ever podcast 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Friday. It was funny because I completely forgot about it. I was totally going to crash you and Cresta's show on Friday. And I completely forgot about it until an hour after the show was done. But I was the Friday was my 10-year anniversary of podcasting. My first ever podcast was July 24th, 2016. Funny.
Slipping through my fingers all the time.
Greg Cherry says Portland Shane. Not Portland, Maine, but Portland Shane. Louisville says Appalachia Kong. Not Asia Kong, but Appalachia Kong. We're always wondering what was Alba Fire short for. It's short for Albuquerque Fire.
Of course, yeah. No, that makes sense.
Greg Norma says Mercedes Pompeii.
Pompeii changes everything.
Mm-hmm. It's
there's a
UK.
price to pay when you mess with Pompeii.
Louisiana J.
Very nice.
Greg Cherry says Cincinnati, and also Corpus Christi Hemi.
Nice. Okay.
Tom Valley says Ren Eau Claire and Flint Dempsey. Greg Cherry says Newark Shoot.
Newark. I got it.
Worked shoot. There we
Sorry,
go.
everything's very tiny on my laptop screen.
I see. Greg Cherry says, "Hey Pitt, are you there? Pitt Wilson." Meet Norma says Notorious Fiji.
Very good.
Austria Ripley and Nebraska. Nobody
is ready for Nebraska.
No, what? No, it's true. If you've ever driven through it, no one is ready for Nebraska. It is just not fun to drive through. Louisville says Wheeler Utica, Bam Bam Binghamton, and Captain Lou Albany.
Those are specifically upstate New York puns for yours truly. Thank you.
Silver Star Scimitar says the Mountie Rushmore, Dusty Rhode Island, Yellowstone Cold Steve Austin, Red Velvet Rocks, the Liberty Bella Twins, Grayson Walla Walla, Washington.
Very nice.
Greg Cherry says, when I say toos, you say on, toos on, toos on. Uso. Yeah. Greg Cherry says, I'm tapped. Love you. Love each other.
We love you too.
Okay. And Meet Nermis says, the Strait of Our Truth and Mediterranean Priest. Okay, hold on up here. This one goes away. Mount Number says Milwaukee Knox,
very nice.
Paul Quebec, and Sonia Jacksonville.
Very nice.
Greg Cherry says Cruz, Montana is the least successful carnival ship.
It does kind of sound that way, or even just the smallest one.
And Dolphin says Quebecy Lynch.
Very good.
Thank you all for coming in late to the party and giving us a great one at the very end. Tom LaValle says Nathan Frazier sings Tekla's theme. Necrosis. Okay.
Been a while since we had a Nathan Frazier request.
I know. Necrosis. Tekla theme lyrics. I don't know this. I honestly didn't really know their head lyrics.
The more you know.
All right, here we go. Just gotta get it to load. Here we go. And blood in my eyes. Tekla. Poison in my veins. Blood in my eyes. Blood. Poison in my veins. Poison in the veins. Blood in my eyes. Poison in my veins. Blood in my eyes. Tekla. Poison in my veins. Blood in my eyes. Blood. Poison in my veins. Poison in the veins. Blood in my eyes. Poison in my veins. Tekla. And Bob's your uncle.
It's been too long since Nathan Frazier stopped by the show. Also, somebody in the chat just joined.
So
that's delicious. Yeah. I love when people join at the most unhinged part of the show. It's like my favorite thing ever.
We have nothing to apologize for, but I am so hardy. Tom LaValle says, Nya girl sings That's Not My Nyam by the Ting Tings.
4-letter word just to get me along. It's a difficulty, and I'm biting on my tongue, and I keep stalling and keeping it together. People around gotta find something to say now. Holding back every day the same. Don't want to be a loner. Listen to me? Oh no. I never say anything at all, but with nothing to consider, they forget my name. They call me Hell. They call me Stacy. They call me her. They call me Jane. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. They call me Quiet, but I'm Uriah. Mary Jo Lisa, always the same. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you this. The Ting Tings, incredible in concert. Could not believe it. Bowled over with how good they are.
Fantastic. That's great. All right. Well, I guess we're... Meet Normus asks, how did Linda and Sheila feel about the World Cup? Is that the one where the men in the short shorts kick the ball with the spots?
It is from
because
all around.
I have no idea what the rules are. I know that there's a lot of kicking.
There's
and they
so
run
much
back and
kicking.
forth. So much cardio. Running back and forth, little tiny shorts, kicking the ball with the spots. Fantastic.
Everybody
won?
was.
It was a foreign country who won the whole thing, but I stopped watching after the USA boys lost. So I don't know. It was a foreign country that won. But those boys, their little short shorts, running back and forth, kicking the ball with the spots. And then they do this every 4 years. How do they keep in shape if they're only playing every 4 years?
I think they still play, just not within this competition. But everyone
just find a large field and run back and forth for hours.
You got to keep
that's how you keep your cardio up.
The cardio up. There's all this bonus time too that they have. They just kind of guess how much time gets added. It's very odd.
At this point, I am only on bonus time. At this point in my life,
I am
only on bonus time. The 90 minutes or whatever it is expired a while ago, but I am on bonus time, and we have no idea how much bonus time is left. Once it expires, the game is over, and then that's it for me. So. But maybe I'll go to heaven and find some boys in short shorts who kicking the ball with the spots.
Oh, if that's not heaven, I don't know what is.
Let me tell you, sister. Lieutenant says, Dusty says anything.
Anything.
So anything, but beyond that, Thank God my boy is on night 1 of SummerSlam, because that night 2 looks like you see the wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings comes on and says, use my code, it'll get you tickets for $25, and nobody is buying tickets. Man, you can't take the family out to McDonald's for less than $25. And,
yeah,
this is so. Listen, if you gonna start handing out crisp $5 bills to the people who come through the door, because I think that's all the way you're gonna get it sold out. They're gonna have to top off that whole damn stadium at this point, especially on Sunday.
You know, the one thing that every wrestling promotion is very honest about is ticket sales. I feel like it's just always a very precise and accurate number. So I'm just I take solace in the fact that like however it shakes out, we're just gonna know an honest exact number, because that's just how wrestling operates.
What is fantastic is back in the day when I was promoting the NWA, whenever our ticket sales were fantastic, that is when we had local celebrities go on TV and say, please buy tickets for an insanely low amount of money. That's when we were approaching sold out. We've only got about a dozen tickets left. Please, local celebrity, will you go on the TV and tell people to buy a ticket at a reduced price?
You were like,
that's how you know the ticket sales are
wide receiver.
They're super healthy. They're as healthy as a heart attack. Let me tell you so much. And so that's how you know. But obviously everybody's going to be tuning into that Saturday show, so they can see see the Beast collide with the other Beast, and also CM Punk probably take my boy to the woodshed, and we will see beyond that what else happens. There is apparently Baron Corbin somehow made it back. I don't know if he renewed his license as a constable, but he is back in the WWE, and he's coming after the U.S. title. We got 6 ladies who are vying for a title Rhea Ripley used to have, and we will see what happens there. Chad Gable gonna win his hometown, which is nice. Is that enough anything for everybody? So I'm done. I got nothing else. It has been a long, hard day here in Wrestle Heaven. We got a heat dome over the whole heaven up here, and usually it is a nice balmy 72 degrees and breezy. But the heat dome it's affecting us too. The heat dome is from underneath because we are in heaven. So the heat dome seals all the heat in from underneath, and so that is difficult for us. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's everybody's got to stay inside, or they're gonna get heat stroke and die a second time.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that. So everybody's just sitting inside eating ice creams.
Well, I'm glad you guys are taking care of yourselves.
You know, we try. Anyway, keep cool, gabagools. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Cruz, Montana.